Let me give you a quick background about me, man. Yo, I started Manu like in October maybe,
Yeah,
if I believe,
yeah. You were here from the
and
start.
and I was like, I was a casual I wasn't disrespecting like Madden game, man. Like most of y'all here, I enjoy Mud because like fantasy football, so that's why I like Mud versus Regs. So to keep a long story short, I was only getting like maybe like seven wins a game, 7 wins on weekend league. Now I'm getting almost 18 wins.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
that's
So
insane.
so so it's like if you put you I mean if you it's like you get what you put in. It's like if you invest your money and your time. I understand everybody got jobs and stuff because I'm a full time father and I try to play as much Madden as I can
Yeah,
to get better. So it's like if you invest your time and put the work in, the results gonna show. It's not gonna show in the first week or the second day, but as you keep on, the more you play, obviously it's like playing any sport in real life. If you play basketball, after a while, you keep on shooting 1,000 jump shots. You're gonna hit more than you miss.
Yep.
yeah, definitely. No, it's really hard to go from 7 wins to 18 wins on weekend league. That's like insane. That's insane. I wouldn't even tell somebody that joined the program that I can't even promise them that. No, I'll say like,
Yeah.
I'll say like move up like 5 wins, 5, 7 wins. I think that's
Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's like it's like because I'm a perfectionist, so it's like I'm gonna continue to put the work in. It's like, um, not everybody's gonna jump from 5 wins to 18 wins. You might jump from 5 to 10 wins, or 5 to 12, or 5 to 15 wins. It's all about how much time you put the work in, and are you willing to what are you willing to work on, and yeah, this is what work on the stuff that you're not good at. Maybe it be your pocket presence, or adjusting on defense, or um, disguising coverages, or learning what the base coverages is. What does a base cover two look like? Base cover three, and man to man and cover four. It's like once you get those down pat, you're going to beat 75% of the Madden community.
yeah, most definitely. Well, D Live, you went from like 10 to 14, right?
That's bad.
Last time I played weekend, so I used to struggle. I used to be around 8 to 10. Like 10
Mm-hmm.
was like absolute sweat fest. To like, not this past week, but the week before, I got 16.
Oh my God! All right, maybe
Bad,
I'm
bro.
under. Hey, maybe I'm underselling. Okay, maybe. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
you
pretty.
you
That's crazy.
underselling yourself. You
That's
sell you
crazy.
selling yourself short. It's like the
Yeah,
program, it works. It's all about the person, how much time you're willing
yeah,
to
definitely.
put into the game.
Kind of your thought process here. Opening up on defense. D Live. What do you?
So just setting my audibles, getting everything to a point that I can find everything whenever I come out in my base defense,
Yeah,
and then you're not ever going to get with as much stuff as I do. I'm probably not ever going to get them all set up in one thing, especially if they pick their play quickly.
yeah.
So I like setting my hooks at 10, curl flats to 10, either 30 or 25, depending on if they're running.
Live, I got a question for you, man. How
So
often do you setting up like your audibles and stuff? Lots of
every
times when I'm
time.
playing online, if y'all can still hear me,
Yeah,
I
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
I think I lost him.
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Nope, I can hear you. Oh, I think we lost him.
Yeah, and like I always tell people too, you always want to start with your flats. I always start with my flats on 30 on those first drives because you want to play bend but don't break on defense because uh, for later in the game you want to be able to recall, okay, this is the play that this guy ran in, first and 10, or he ran this play on a big third down. So you want them to have as long of a drive as possible. Whereas if they score in 2 plays, you're not going to know much for later in the game.
I'll be honest. Like
Let's
when I
go.
put my
Get that.
Let's
Let's
go. Saw that right there. I also recommend double mapling with your outside cornerback. Like you want your outside cornerback in a flat to guard like the corner outs, because if you have your flat zone from the slot, then a lot of times he's not going to get out there. Whereas since your outside cornerback in the flat, he's on the outside already. He'll be able to meet the corner route, to the spot. So as you saw there, D-Live had his flat zone from the slot. Even though he had him zone drop to 20, he still gave up the corner because he was positioned too far inside. So when you're double mapling, again, biggest key is having your outside cornerback in the flat. Yeah, so right now D-Live, also I would start, anytime he runs trips, I would double maple the trip side. Because in this dagger play, it looks like he's going to, this is really a popular play, so you utilize the drag underneath. So I would just have like the 30 flat, and then the 5 purple on that side to stop the time and drag. Yeah.
That's what I got over
that.
there, yeah.
And also to stop this run, you can shift the D line opposite the running back, and then
yeah, he's quick hiking me.
Yeah, you're good. Or you can pinch your D line for now as well. Yeah. And again, watch out for that tight end drag here. Might want to have like a 5-yard purple. Right. Yeah, that's perfect defense. I love what you did there, man, with the 5-yard purples down the red zone, because it's pretty difficult to beat man coverage already. You need like those sharp cutting crossing routes, but again, obviously you can't run a crossing route in the red zone. It's just gonna run too far. Yeah, so you want to have man coverage with 5-yard purples is really effective down the red zone. Also, another thing I'll tell people is you want to make sure to take advantage of people that aren't utilizing zone drops on defense. So a lot of times people, again, will just have their zones on default, so you can just hit them with crossers to either side of the field. But let's kind of see here what he's doing on defense.
Right there, A.
Yeah, so what is he doing on defense right now? What were their post-snap reads?
So post-snap, I'm looking high to low. His high guys were going, and it looked like he was taking his curl flats and actually playing the flats with them and then trying to use the middle. It looked like crossers could be open with what he was doing. Like almost like his curl flats were not zone dropped, so they were like at like the first down marker essentially. Like about this coaching session, because I really struggle against under center like power I form run or offenses.
Yeah, so I'd pinch the D line, crash up, and try to hover over the center. Pinch the D line and crash up. Yeah. There should be a.
There we go.
Yeah, so when you have the. Yeah, so if you're having trouble stopping the run in a 3-down line set, those 4-down line sets like over G, they do a better job of filling the gaps, and you can even shoot the gap a lot of times with your safety at linebacker. Again, what has he been calling a lot so far from Bunch?
Flood and then the in route, the dig dagger.
Yeah, so that's now the third time that he's called this play where he's trying to run a flood concept to the bunch side, meaning a corner route, a flat, and a streak. So I would set your zone drop flats to 20 to stop that little corner route, and then have a purple on that side as well. The biggest lesson, what's the biggest things we've learned from his offense so far? What does he like to do in bunch, and what does he like to do in trips?
So bunch, he likes the dig and the corners, and then trips, he likes the little flat to the dig and inside zone.
Yeah. So he's a fairly heavy runner. So on first downs, we really got to be playing the run. Also, when he's in bunch, he loves the flood concept. He's called the flood concept 3 or 4 times when he's in bunch now. So moving forward, we're gonna have like our outside cornerback, like set to 20, in a flat zone to stop that corner out, and then have like a purple underneath as well. So a 5-yard purple and a 20-yard flat on the bunch side when he's in bunch. And again, when he's in trips, we got to set up run defense on first down. And also,
so I really love.
In this situation too, you do want to be working the sideline. I try to avoid using your timeout until the last possible second. So again, a lot of times in this situation, people will play really conservative. They'll have like 30-yard flats so they don't give up a big play. So you can work the sidelines and get out of bounds here. Oh, so he has hard flats. Wow. Okay, so this guy's playing by his own rules. Get out of bounds. All right. So again, after every play, again, you gotta be making post-snap reads. So again, it looks like he's not utilizing his zone drops. He's not setting any of his flats, 25, 30. He's just cover 3 hard flats. So we can attack those deeper portions, the deeper portions of the field, like those sidelines with the pulse, like you've been doing. Oh, perfect. What a drive. That's a perfect drive. Yeah, that's really smart. And like you said, you got to be attacking. That's something, I think it's the route combo development course. And Madden 101, we go over this, where you got to be attacking all parts of the field. So the left sideline, middle of the field, right sideline. Because again, you can only dedicate so many resources to one part of the field. So if you're attacking the left sideline too much, a lot of times people will start stacking resources to that side, meaning like they'll zone drop that side. So that's why we got to be attacking all different parts. So our defensive game plan for the second half, on first down, 1000%, just play for the run. Again, this guy's more of a run-heavy player. And again, when he's in bunch, we want to double maple the bunch side, or 20-yard flat, 5-yard purple the bunch side. When he's in trips, again, we want to have that 5-yard purple opposite the tight end because he runs dagger a lot. And he'll have the crosser as well. So we want to have the 30s. When he's in trips, when he's in bunch, we want to have the 20s. Again, the reason why we would have the 30s versus trips is because he uses that deeper crosser. So what's the biggest thing you've noticed from his defense in the first half?
He doesn't bring a lot of pressure. I've got all day. And then, like you said, his zone depths and things like that are very vanilla. So we can really attack the sidelines.
Yeah.
And then what he's wanting you to do is go right at his user, which is Hendricks. So because he's 6'8" and got good speed and all that stuff. So that's really what he wants you to try to do is throw something in the middle so Hendricks can, I don't know. I think he even has Lurker on Hendricks. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would be abusing these deeper portions of the field because, like you said, he's not putting his flat zones to 25 or 30. So these deeper crossing routes are going to give this guy trouble. And the run is going to give him trouble as well. Also, another thing what's wrong with his defense is when you run 3-5 wide, you want to be hovering. You want to be hovering with your user or over the line. If you don't do that, the blitz is not going to come in. So you also know that you can send, extra people out on a route because there's no real blitz threat here since he's not hovering with his user. So yes, I like the double crossers here. Okay, so what did we learn from that play? That was good defense by this guy.
Yeah.
What do you see there?
It looked like he had deepened out his or the curl flats matched because sometimes they'll match, and
yeah,
it just wasn't there.
Yeah, so I would go to like a shorter corner route here, like on verticals, because he has his flat zone set to 30. So if his flat zones are set to 30, he's going to give up these mini corners like you have on your tight end. I would maybe out route. Oh, you have the. Okay, throw it away. So he's giving up that. I would look for that tight end corner. So what he's doing is, again, he has his flat zone set to 25 or 30 to stop the crossing routes. But those flat zones are too far back, so you want to go to a smaller corner route to get underneath those flat zones and get over the top of the 5-yard, so we can have like a flat concept to the right side of the field. Yeah, and you see how his flat zone is set to like 25 or 30, so that's why that shorter corner route is open. So later in this game, this guy's going to have to make a decision. He's going to be in a dilemma as to whether he keeps those flat zones on 30 and keeps giving up the corner route, or if he wants to start mixing them up and going with shorter flat zones and then giving up the crosser later in the game. The run game is really just a numbers game. So depending on the strong side, if they have an extra receiver or tight end to the certain side, you want to have your slot cornerback over there as well. A hat on a hat. Want him to score faster. So even if the run commit gives up a big play, we're perfectly fine with that.
Right, because all I need is 3 going back the other way.
Yeah. So I'd go run one more run commit. Perfect. Now we want him in this position again. He's a run-heavy player. I'm expecting dagger here. So I'd put your flat zones to... Oh, okay. It's going to be the corner route play. Say your flats to 25. So make sure you double maple the bunch side here.
Okay.
That's going to be the corner route to the slot. And make sure it's your outside corner in the flat. Call a timeout if it's not. I'd call timeout. It's gonna be the corner route.
Oh shoot,
Yeah.
I was on the wrong person.
Yeah.
But that doesn't hurt me because it's a minute
Yeah.
22.
Yeah. So no downside there. Yeah. When you get to those big positions in the game, situationally on defense, it's a lot of it is just play recall. You know, remembering what somebody called earlier in the game. A lot of people aren't gonna, just different play every time, especially at a competitive level. You know, people have, their 4 or 5 plays, and they're gonna come back to those plays later in the game, especially if they worked earlier in the game. So again, you want to remember for later in the game, okay, on 3rd and 10, he really liked to call this corner route, or in bunch, he really likes to call flood concept. So that's why I was able to call out it's going to be the corner route play with the flat underneath. Again, it was just all play recall because when he's in bunch, that's really the only play he's been running. So situationally, he's probably going to have the 30-yard flat zones because he's going to be afraid to give a big play. So we might be able to hit him with the tight end corner underneath. And right now, what is he in on defense? What is he in right now?
3-3-5.
He's we know he's running man coverage because his outside cornerback is lined up inside the outside receiver. But you can go ahead and run here though. This is basically game.
Just be careful and watch the ice.
Oh, I got the focus kicker.
Yeah, so you don't even need to come out and play. He's not even calling a timeout, so I would just call a timeout at 3 seconds. That was a phenomenal game. So let's talk about the game a little bit. Again, obviously, great offensive performance. What are some things you would have liked to have done differently in this game?
Maybe get a stop because I knew I kind of was picking up on his tendencies and things like that. I think there were some areas where I could have maybe made some adjustments and stuff like that a little bit quicker. But I was trying to be a little bit slower and show my play art for everybody so that way we could explain exactly what was going on.
Yeah, definitely.
So I missed some adjustments there. And then I would have liked to have had some better user on some of the outside runs because I think I got caught inside the minutia and he just kind of bounced outside. So kind of scraping to the outside on my user would have been a little bit better, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And I think another big thing to know in that game was, just understanding, the post-snap reads and seeing that when he has his flats set to 30, going to the shorter, tight end posts or corner routes, or when he didn't have his flats set to 30, making sure you're utilizing the deep crossing routes. So that was a big part of the chess match in that game as well.